Welcome to another episode of The Nationalist. I'm your host and analyst, Kennedy Abongo. Today, we are going to look at the affidavit by the Deputy Chairperson of IEBC, Madam Cherera. Before we do that, we'd like you to subscribe to this channel, like, and comment. Would really love to hear what you want to say or what you think about our videos and the topics you'd want us to cover going forward. To the main topic, what is Madam Cherera saying against Chebukati? As you are aware, Madam Cherera is listed by Azimio as a respondent, which means that she had to put in a response to the allegations that Azimio raised in their petition. We're going to look at that replying affidavit by Madam Cherera, see the weight of it, and how it may impact evidence going forward. We're going to do that in two segments. First, we are going to look at pre-election intrigues. And then second segment would be the election intrigues. What I mean is what happened on the day of the election, the voting up to the point of announcing the presidential results. So to our first subtopic, pre-election intrigues. What is she saying? What are these things that happened before the actual elections? These are important. Let me just tell you this. These are important because they form part of the evidence. It is those pre-election intrigues that court can look at and say these people actually prepared, or in their preparation they conformed with the Constitution. You know, Azimio in their petition are saying the election was not conducted in accordance with the Constitution. The conduct of election begins with its preparation. So whatever evidence that may come up during the preparation of a particular election is very critical to determining whether or not that particular election conforms with the Constitution and the election laws. So what is Cherera saying? Number one, she's saying that the procurement process of election material or materials was done solely by Chebukati in concert with the other two commissioners, Boya, Mulu, and Abdi Egulie. And it was done at the point at the point when it should not have been done. Cherera is saying that election material, as per the IEBC practice, are to be procured during the election year and not before the election year. So Chebukati and the other two commissioners procured the election materials in September 2021 and therefore blocked the other four commissioners who later joined the commission from making a decision on that critical aspect of election preparation. This again, I think, is because the Constitution and indeed our courts have affirmed that the IEBC having three commissioners is properly constituted and can conduct its business as usual. And that would include the preparation that are put in place towards a presidential election. They could argue that in court, that they were properly constituted and were operating as per the Constitution. However, the question comes, why did Chebukati decide to walk away from tradition and decide to procure these election materials in 2021 rather than at the beginning of the year 2022 as the tradition of IEBC? These are issues that I believe will raise a lot of back and forth and strong discussions among the counsels who will be presenting in court. Another pre-election intrigue that she's speaking about is that when they joined the commission, there was a lot of unilateral decisions that Chebukati made just by himself, and sometimes outrightly ignoring the four commissioners or the four disaffected commissioners, just dealing specifically with the two commissioners on his side, or whom they have been together since 2017. This again is quite important because Madam Cherera brings evidence before the Supreme Court of her complaining to the chairman himself, saying that they feel like the chairman is secluding them from the fundamentals or fundamental operations of IEBC. It is like they were just there to be seen and not to be heard. So if the Supreme Court is presented with that kind of evidence, it can demonstrate that that IEBC as a commission was dysfunctional, and therefore whatever thing that they did cannot be attributed to the commission, but rather to three individuals. In this case, Chebukati, Boyamulu, and Abdi Gulier. Another pre-election intrigue is what Cherera said that she found out in her visit to South Africa when she went to look at the progress of Form 34As. What she found was that, contrary to what she thought was the tradition, that there were two sets of Form 34As. So these raised a lot of issues. When they came back to Kenya, they raised it again with the chairman, and the chairman told them, okay, there is no problem with that. The parties themselves, including Raila Odinga and Ruto, raised issues with the two sets of Form 34As, but those fears were allayed by Chebukati when he called them to a meeting and informed parties that the commission will only use one set of form. But again, we may not know whether or not the commission eventually used only one set of form, 34As. Because a man who is being accused of doing so much by himself could as well ignore the concerns presented by the parties. Another concern that Madam Cherera is raising against Chebukati, or allegation that she's making against Chebukati, is that Chebukati decided to unilaterally transfer arrows without involving the commission. It is the role of the commission to run the commission. Whatever decision that is made, including decisions relating to hiring of arrows and transferring of arrows, should be passed through the commission as a whole and not a single person. That is another damaging accusation that only shows that Chebukati was the one running the whole presidential election. Aside from that now, there are accusations that she's making with respect to what happened during the election, particularly with respect to verifying of the results and the final announcement of that results. She's saying, number one, that Mr. Chebukati, in the first instance, during at Bomas, decided to redeploy all the commissioners, and therefore commissioners such as Madam Cherera herself was taken to deal with issues of media, which is not her forte. Commissioner Nyang'aya was taken to deal with matters protocol, which is not his forte. So he was taken from his normal duties as a commissioner in charge of ICT to just deal with issues of protocol. Another thing that she's raising, and I think this is very, very serious and points to a bungled election, if I may call it that. I would not want to preempt whatever the court would say, but if that allegation is proved to be true, then this was an election which was deliberately bungled by Chebukati. She's saying that Chebukati called them, or rather the chairman called them to a room and presented to them what he termed as the results, or the tallied and verified results, final results of the presidential elections, which he told them had been done at the back-end server. That back-end server was set up by Chebukati himself. So he came to them, told them these are the results, and therefore their job was merely to approve those results. And that what occasioned those 4 commissioners to bolt out and call a press conference and say, and dispute and disown those results by Chebukati. Lastly, Madam Cherera is saying that they did not verify the number of voters who were identified through the biometric system and the number of voters who were identified manually. The fundamental role of the commission, as per the Constitution, is to ensure that the results that come to members of the public are verified. Verification must involve issues pertaining to the number of registered voters who actually came out and voted. As you know, we did that through other voters were identified through biometric system, meaning their details upon voting was captured by IEBC. They had to verify that. Another thing is the people who voted manually had to be sure about the number of people who voted manually. Cherera is saying they did not know that number. Where then did Chebukati get his numbers upon which he used to announce the results when they did not verify them? That is a question that is left for the courts to determine. I would not want to speculate, but it will definitely create a lot of debate and legal arguments. That marks the end of our discussion regarding Cherera's response to Raila Odinga's petition. A question which I believe you people are asking is whether that evidence is important to Raila Odinga. My view is it is. The kind of evidence and attachments that she's put there are critical and really are going to strengthen Azimio's case that the election was not conducted as per the Constitution. That marks the end of this episode. Once again, I want to remind you, kindly subscribe, like, and comment. Until we meet again with another episode, cheers.